there, YouTube. Welcome back to Artichoke Dip. My name is Rob, Solo Tabletop Gamer. How are all you guys doing? Well, here it is. Once again, we're up on Thanksgiving. It's that time of year. And for those of you in the States, happy Thanksgiving. And for the rest of you out there, we'll be thinking about you. So, I kind of wanted to recap on my last video that I did, and I think I kind of left it on a humdrum type of note with this whole entire COPPA thing. And I did some research and listened to some other YouTubers and attorneys that are on YouTube, actual attorneys. One of them that's a couple of cities over from where I live in Northville, Michigan, that explained the law and more in depth and helped me understand a little bit better. So, which gave me, a huge sigh of relief and helped me understand, don't think the channel's going to be really in any type of trouble, and Artichoke's not going anywhere anytime soon. The only thing that I have to really be careful about is some of the things that I do show here on YouTube that the Federal Trade Commission could say that's appealing to a child. Now, granted, a lot of the gaming terrain and stuff that we use, to a lot of people, they could say, well, hey, that represents a toy or looks like a toy. When in fact, for a lot of us out there that purchase, assemble, and paint these things and know the expense of it, are like, yeah, you know what, bull crap. It's a lot more. So, when it came to that little dilemma that I had, I decided to do a little bit of investigation. But before I get too much further into this video, I forgot to get my little disclaimer out of the way, which is, if you got your caffeinated beverage, go ahead and grab it now. And if you like this video, please click the like button. And if you have not subscribed, please click that subscribe button, followed by the little bell icon. Every time I upload a brand new video, you will hear about it. I promise. Sorry, my dog there. So, anyways, I have found out that that's what they're going to be looking at. And running the channel analytics on it, I can see that, like I said, everybody that watches my channel is, in the age range of the late 20s all the way up into about the mid 50s. So, we're all gamers. We're all older gamers. There's some nostalgia accompanying to this, and for most part, I think it's just that we enjoy this type of gaming. It's, in my opinion, it's way better than computer gaming. And I can't say that I do binge on PS4. An RPG that I recently played on PS4 that I just really loved and really got into was Detroit: Becoming Human, and I really did get lost into that one, and it was a really good RPG, and I enjoyed it. But there again, you get to the end, and it's like, hey, you can play through this again, and depending on how you answer the questions is going to completely alter the outcome of the story, which gets me back to the whole entire electronic game thing where it's pre-programmed and all that, and on like an extremely open-ended RPG world to where you're only limited to your imagination. So, thumbs up to you guys, man, really, for supporting me, being there through the years from the beginning of my channel. And I mean, the subscribers, I noticed the subscriber count keeps going up, which is really cool. That's how it supports me. And like I said, I don't make any money off this channel. Unlike other YouTubers out there to where it's their living, and I can kind of, in a sense, sympathize with them over how they're worried they're going to lose their living. And for some of them, they may very well. And, that stinks, but I know for me, like I said, this is just a hobby. This is literally what I do in my spare time. So, And I love to be able to document that, put the videos out, and share them with you guys, and be able to hear your great comments and thoughts and insights on other games and some of the ideas that you've come up with that's given me ideas that I have actually utilized into some of my tabletop gaming that's really helped as well. So that's, that's what I love about this little niche that we have here on YouTube, particularly with the tabletop gaming community, is this right here, the actual overall community, to where it's not like some of your other categories you're going to find on YouTube. An example I'm going to throw out there, like politics. I'm not getting into politics, but I mean, there is just so much and spread over so many different channels that it's like a quagmire. And I have to say, I know when it comes to YouTube, there's a handful of us out there doing it. Geek Gamers is one. She does an excellent job. There's me. There's Questwise. And I'm just naming a few here. And particularly Tabletop Gamers. There was there's a couple of more of them out there. I don't remember their names off the top of my head right now without jumping in the computer and going and looking them up. But you know who you are. And thank you very much for being out there and helping other people with the tabletop hobby. So, but one of the things with the comments, as I said, that were really cool and helped me was a lot of people suggested BitShoot, 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 BitShoot. So I'd done some investigation, and I have checked out some alternative channels out there, and I wanted to kind of share a few things with you about how I feel about those channels and what I plan on doing in the future with those channels as we move forward and as the beginning of the year approaches, and basically the federal government clamping down on YouTube, which really what they're clamping down on is more or less targeted ads towards children, which is funny because I heard one attorney say basically what this is that television networks are in their death throes, and this is the one last kick in the air because they're all saying, hey, look at them, look what they're doing, there's these people out here that are marketing towards children. But for all of those that are in my same age bracket, I need to drink a Monster here, that can remember Saturday morning cartoons. We get up in the morning, we get that big bowl, fill it with cereal and milk, and sit down in front of the television. And in between those cartoons, what do we see? Commercials. And who were those commercials geared towards? Kids. So, as they explained it, this is just basically the television network's last hoopla. They basically see the end coming, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's going to be platforms like this, like YouTube, and many others that are out there, that's going to be the future. And of course, all the other streaming sites on the internet. But you don't need me to tell this. You guys already know that. I'm sure quite a few of you, if you enjoy any type of fantasy, science fiction, anything like that, like I'm sure, like none of you have like sat on the couch and binge streamed, I don't know, Stranger Things maybe, or let me see, Star Wars movies that have been on there, so on and so forth. Sure you have. I know I have. But so with those channels, the new channels I'm talking about here, and I want to talk about a couple of different platforms. So the first one was BitShoot. I did take your advice, for those of you that have, and it was quite a few people that did mention that in the comments, and I had checked it out and made a channel there, and I had also uploaded a video, which I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. And there was another channel that I found too, also not channel, but another platform called Brighteon. That's it, like Bright and T on. And I'll leave a link to these, to my channels, my alternative channels, in the comments if you guys are interested. So my first impression over these channels is, first one, BitShoot seems to have low quality playback. But the nice thing is it's unlimited amount of videos that I can upload. So I could upload, 300 videos and doesn't matter. Whereas with Brighteon, the playback is superb. It's crystal clear, just like YouTube. But the problem is you were limited to 10 video uploads per, it's like 5,000 plays, and then after that, whichever video hits first, that drops off, and then you can upload a new video. And it's more or less geared towards the alternative news media out there, the people that know how to get the clickbait and get the people worked up to be able to tune into their channels and watch them. So for me, I think that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think for some of the larger playthroughs and stuff that I'm going to do, it's going to be a better alternative because, well, let's face it, I'm going to be able to, listen to the music I want to listen to while I do my gaming and my hobby, which is, yeah, right there. And, well, I'm not going to have to worry about what's going on with YouTube in the clamping down of the federal government and, showing some of these games and having them say, hey, what you're doing is appealing to kids, 13 and under, like, good example back here, this book, the Witchfire trilogy. Yeah. So, anyways, I kind of wanted to just touch off on that a little bit, let you guys know moving forward in the future. Because like I said, I left my last video off, and I think it was kind of like doom and gloom, and artichoke dip ain't going dark. I ain't going anywhere. To hell with that. I love my gaming. I love you guys. That's why I do this, and that's why I'm gonna be here. But playthroughs are gonna be uploaded on these channels, so in that way I can keep moving on, talking about great products, talking about stuff and experiences that I have, and sharing with you guys some of the tips and tricks that I use for my games to help you guys out. And at that point we can still do the playthroughs, we're just not going to do them on YouTube. That way I don't have to worry about being called out or possibly fined by the federal government, and you guys still get to see the playthrough. So hey, it's a win-win situation for all. Now, as far as the new channels go, so when the video I chose to upload is about an hour long, and I did a playthrough of 4 Against Darkness, and it's a beginner's video. We kind of explaining why 4 Against Darkness is a good system to start out on. Went through the character creation, made the characters. Of course, I used my tilescapes and set them up because I really didn't want to use the graph paper. And uploaded the video to both BitShoot and Brighteon because I noticed something about both BitShoot and Brighteon. They do not have any solo tabletop role-playing games channels there. I mean, what kind of platform can it be without that? I mean, really? I mean, what's going on here? What's wrong with this world when you do not have a site that you can go to and be able to see something about a tabletop role-playing game? Particularly a tabletop role-playing game like this. You can smell the vintage on it. Or mold. So, if that's something that interests you, it would be, greatly appreciated. Jump on over there and check it out. But it's not required whatsoever. It's completely up to you guys. Like I said, the reason why I did this, I did these backup channels, and I'm going to tell you this once again. This is my hard-earned money right here. I'm not making I don't want to say the S word, but what the hell. I'm not making shit off this channel. I'm not. I'm just not. And so, I think you guys noticed, you know, I had a lull in my channel for a while. I've been busy at work. I've had other things going on. And I just really haven't been able to afford anything. So I've been kind of scaled back for a while. And which is good, because it gave me an opportunity to go back through, you know, some of the older games that I haven't played in a while. And be able to remember why I enjoyed them so much, because for a while there I was accumulating a lot of games and playing a lot of different games and doing a lot of different reviews on them to get them out there, and I kind of had gotten lost in the quagmire, I guess you would say, of games. So it really worked out well that you know, happened like that, because, well, brings me to the next thing, and that is, I'm on vacation. I am on vacation. I can't believe I can say it. I am on vacation. I finally made it here to vacation. Vacation time. I got a whole week with nothing else planned than gaming. Yeah. Gaming. Now, not to say that Mrs. Artichoke won't find stuff for me to do, because I'm sure she will, but there's still a lot of time to game. And that brings me back into, well, the holiday season. And for those of us that live here in the States, it is Thanksgiving, which normally means family, turkey, please pass the stuffing and the potatoes and the green bean casserole and all those other nice things. But something else also, which almost seems to dwarf the holiday now, which I have to admit, it's kind of, in a way, kind of sad to me, and that's Black Friday, right? We got Black Friday sales. I mean, you hear about it everywhere. I mean, everything on the radio. I mean, all the way down to even the pawn shop, you know, saying, hey, a Black Friday sale. Okay. But, so I kind of took advantage of that. And so I had gotten an email, and I'm just going to put this out there for you guys. I'm going to show you my examples here. Buyer beware before you jump head over heels into these deals. Before you click that buy button online, do a little bit of investigation first, and I'm going to explain to you why. So I'm not going to tell you the retailer's name here on YouTube. I really don't. I just don't think it's really that important. But so I had gotten an email for early Black Friday. So I looked at the list of the stuff that was on there, you know, and I saw a couple of games that I was really interested in, and they were pretty good price. And then so I had went into their main site, and it showed this spreadsheet, like of everything that was on sale, the quantity and all that, which I think maybe wasn't supposed to be viewed by the public. So I had looked at it, and I said, well, wait a minute, they're getting this through Amazon. So I said, really? So I had gone to Amazon, took that product number and punched it in, and Lord behold, not only was it cheaper than what they were trying to sell it to me for, I mean, they marked it up $10. Amazon had it even cheaper. That first one is, now, I have been getting into a lot of the cooperative solitaire board games that play like RPG games. I really love them. You get a lot of minis with them, and I love painting them and the replayability of them. One of the games that I'm still learning, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and it takes quite a while to get through, is Sword and Sorcery. And I plan on doing a full game demonstration and playthrough with that, but I'm still trying to get all the rules underneath my belt to be able to explain everything to you, because there is so much to it. There's so many rules to it that it's not even funny. But that had nothing to do with the Black Friday. I don't even know why I brought that up. I need to drink a Monster here. Secret to life. It's proper caffeination. So that first one that I saw, I told you about, normally retails for $90. 90 US dollars. I was able to pick it up for 38 US dollars. And that is the Undercity. Now, this is based in the Iron Kingdoms, and which is a very unique setting right here, the Witchfire trilogy. Which, believe it or not, that is one that I really haven't gotten into. I made some characters, played this, and I had a total party kill in that. A friend had picked that up for me and told me, as a Christmas gift, and told me, here, you got to try this. And I have to admit, the entire world is absolutely cool. And maybe what I'll do is pull that out and do a review with that book, maybe in another video if you guys are interested in seeing that. But the Iron Kingdoms, if you're not familiar, is you could say steampunk, and actually it is steampunk type of genre RPG gaming. The cool thing about it are the steam jacks, which are, think of mech mixed with goblin level engineering powered by steam. And you're at the turn of, I'm gonna say, of their industrial revolution, basically, in the game setting, to where black powder weapons are becoming more prevalent rather than sword and shield. But sword and shield is still around, even though they are beginning to get into steam and locomotive technology. They still have alchemist and magic and everything else that's all brought together into this setting, which is cool. And it actually is a very cool setting. So if that's something that maybe if you're getting sick of the same old fantasy genre, good, like D&D or Palladium, to where you're based into like a Tolkien Middle Earth basically type setting, and you want to venture out and try something different, maybe change things up, a new taste, Iron Kingdoms might be a good game system for you to check out, particularly if that sounds interesting to you. So this is one of them I plan on getting into this week and playing. As a matter of fact, I had opened it up because I had received this the other night, and so I wasn't feeling too well. Had a little some sprained muscles in the back going on, and basically when I came home, I just I was excited to see that it was there, but didn't have the will to really go much beyond that. So I had opened it up, and when you open this sucker up, it comes with your rule book, it comes with your campaign guide, which gives you all your campaign, how to set up your board. And like I said, I haven't even opened up any of this stuff yet. It's still all in the packaging. Those are your character sheets, punch out, tiles, tokens. The thing that I really thought was cool and can be used for more than just this game and a lot of RPG games is the actual game board itself with the dungeon layout. If you can see that. And really, really, really cool. I know I could think of some really cool 3D terrain effects I could put on there to make some cool dungeon scenarios. course, your dice, it is a D6 system. This system I have back here is a D20 system, if you're wondering. And boom, the minis. All those minis I'm going to be able to paint and be able to put into... I'm going to pull one out here so you guys can see what I'm talking about by Steam Jack, because it is just really, really... And they're pretty dang detailed too. Now, unlike most of the cheaper resin models that you find in a lot of games that are extremely brittle and have a tendency to break if you're not careful, these are not like that. These are of high quality resin. They actually move, and from everything that I've read from a lot of people that have painted these suckers up, they say they take paint extremely well. So they say it takes paint really well and pretty much covers real quickly. If you've ever painted any miniatures and you get some resins that don't take paint that well, and then it becomes more of a chore than an actual relaxing time to be able to sit down and paint your minis, because then you're sitting there putting coat after coat after coat on and you're just like, oh man, what's going on here? So that was number one. That will be the first one I will be getting into, will be the Undercity. The second one that I saw, that oddly enough I did purchase through that particular web page that sent me the email, and they did have the best price. I checked Amazon and I checked eBay and I checked all the rest of them, and hands down they had the best price on this out there anywhere that I saw. And this game normally retails for $60 US, and I just received this tonight. It's still in the cellophane. Escape Level 7, and I was able to get this for $28 US, which is ridiculously cheap. If you're not familiar with this, I watched several playthroughs of other gamers go through this. This is by no means a new game. This has been out for a while, but it is a sci-fi based game that you are trying to escape this compound that's overrun by aliens. Now, of course, the more your adrenaline goes up, by getting hurt, your adrenaline goes up, it's easier for these aliens to be able to hone in on you, track you, and more aliens spawn. Now, I haven't gone through the whole game yet, and it's been a while since I've watched a playthrough with this, but it is a very interesting game designed for 1 to 4 players, so it is a standalone game. And like I said, it plays like an RPG game. It in fact is a board game, but for me, I have been really, really, really enjoying these. And as you know, these games are, if you look at them, these are not children's games. So let's get that out of the way to begin with. Particularly this one. All your rules, everything like that, is written at a level for ages 14 and up. So pretty much almost all the games out there geared towards adult, what they call adult gaming, whether it be Gloomhaven and some of these other larger games that we see out there, it's the same way, ages 14 and up. Because you're at that mental, I don't want to say capacity, I want to say you have the mental faculty, I should say, at that point, to be able to retain, understand the rules, play the game, and make a decision. Basically, to be able to play and enjoy the game. I mean, let's face it, this isn't like sitting down and playing, Monopoly with your family. This is a little bit different. There is an aspect of horror, sci-fi, and some of those elements of the games that is, well, it's geared towards adults. That's what it is. Same thing with the Undercity. The Undercity is the same game, and not same game, but let me read the back because I never looked. Same thing. Ages 14 and up. So you can see right there, it's basically geared towards adults. So very cool game. I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to my vacation here for a while, and when those came up, and I guess the whole entire thing that I'm going with here is, before you guys run out and click buy this holiday season, take the steps and do your due diligence and look around a little bit. You may find out that the site that's trying to hawk this particular game off to you at what seems like a very good price, maybe getting it from somebody else at a lower price, and you're going to make a lot more money by going. I mean, you're going to save a lot more money by going straight to there and getting that. So I hope that helps you guys this Black Friday when you're out and about and you're picking up some new gaming supplies or the gaming table, because let's face it, this is the time of year. This is when they really start marking stuff down, and they're clearing out all the stuff from last year and the year prior, and they're trying to get rid of all them games because they have all this new stuff coming in for Christmas that they want to put on the shelves and start marketing towards us. So right now is a really, really good time to be able to pick up some really good games if you've been eyeballing them for really, really good prices. Alright, so before the Black Friday thing came up, I decided it was time to... Excuse me? You hear my dog over there? Hey, I'm trying to make a video here. What's going on? Huh? What's going on? So, before I came across the Black Friday sales, I decided it was time to, go back to some of the games that I really enjoyed. And that's before I made the channel and everything, when I was working afternoons and I was coming home and everybody's asleep, there's not much going on, and I'd sit down and I'd play some RPGs. And that being Basic Edition D&D. But I had a total party kill and put the book up for a little while. And this was pretty recently, but I decided it was time to jump back into the Temple of Elemental Evil. Which, if you're not familiar with this game is iconic. It really is. Well, not the game. The game, everybody knows what Dungeons & Dragons is. The module is iconic. Designed and written with Gary Gygax and Frank Menzer, and it is, by far one of the most celebrated game modules in Dungeons & Dragons out there. It is very, very cool. It promises to take your characters from 1st to 8th level. 8th level, of course, ending into the dungeons of the temple. So, putting this together, I pulled out the old books and decided it was time to pull out these bad boys, the Labyrinth Lord, and made some advanced edition characters out of the Labyrinth Lord, and referenced back to my basic set for some monsters and magical items, basic simple stuff that I could throw in to the game. But then something occurred to me about this module, and I think it's something that maybe some of you out there are struggling with, and maybe I can help shed some light on and to help you, because I know it's something I struggled with for a while with these pre-generated modules as well. So the pre-generated module is designed to where it basically has all the work for the game master or DM done, and they read through this, and they have a little window that they read to the players, and then it gives them some basically information that they can work with to help them run the game more smoothly, and they have all the information at hand. They don't have to go digging and making stuff up. But when it comes to us, the solo enthusiasts, we, you know, don't have a game master sitting across from us explaining to us what's going on and just leaving us to focus on our character. We have our characters, we have our game emulators, we have our tables, and we have all these other things, and able to make the game more enjoyable and, playable experience. So, starting with Hamlet and really sitting down and reading through it, and if you do decide to pick up the original Temple of Elemental Evil, or I haven't gotten into it yet, I did pick up this one right here, which was a reprinting for the 5th edition, which is The Princes of Apocalypse, which I was told is a much more smooth running adventure. But I decided, what the heck, I wanted to do some basic, and I wanted to play the original. So I went back to the original. And the way that it's set up, like I said, it gives you, it's set up for a DM. And like the way older D&D was set up compared to the newer editions, Gary Gygax kind of imagined to where everything's a product of your imagination and use your imagination. So, basically, here's the map, here you go, you figure it out from there and populate the world. And getting back to with the solo enthusiast, so it was at that point I had noticed something that I did for myself, and I wanted to share with you guys, and it does make Hamlet a more enjoyable RPG experience rather than going through, reading the notes and characters got to go from here to here to here to meet this person to go over here, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I had made up my own little table sheet, and using the hexes, of course, like a hex crawl like we hear about, and we see a lot of the game systems out there now are going towards hex crawl. And so I wanted to get into that and read to you some of the things that I used that I found to work very well with these pre-published adventures, and it does not take a lot of effort and or time to be able to do this, but it will give you a lot back with the playability of the game. So what that is, I made this for the wilderness. The wilderness around Hamlet and the surrounding. If you plan on playing the game, I really don't want to ruin it for you, but the surrounding areas of where you start in Hamlet and Verbonic, I guess you would call it. And of course you have Cron Hills, and you got the Low Road, and you got the Gnarly Forest, and you have all these areas you have to go through before reaching towards the end, which is the actual temple itself. So, true to the old D&D ways, here's the map, and there you go, it's your game world, figure it out. And what I had done, and it works out very well, so take your character and pick about 3 monster encounters that your characters could handle very easily. So, of course, thing off the top of your head is going to be a goblin. That's going to be the first thing. Hobgoblin. And then a fire beetle. And then pick 2 extremely harder ones that they may encounter. That's going to be way more of a challenge. It's going to add that level of danger and threat, possibly losing characters in the game, and make it to where, how do I put this? It makes the wilderness a lot more dangerous and unknown. So the two that I picked was a wolf pack and an owl bear that I had put in there. So I had assigned those encounters to a percentage on my dice. Of course, the goblins being the most common encounter, then going to the hobgoblin, the owl bear, the wolf pack, and then fire beetles. So then I went into the matrix, and what I did is 1 through 12. The first one I wrote down, there could be an encounter, and when I enter the hex, I roll and see what my characters are going to encounter in that hex when I enter it. And that's going to be a monster. They could encounter an NPC friendly. They could encounter an NPC unfriendly, and that would be number 3. They could have a weather event that could slow their movements. 5, they could encounter a trap. 6, area clear and advance to the next hex. 7, encounter monster and a treasure. 8, encounter NPC with a merchant. 9, encounter an NPC that's magical. 10, encounter a dungeon. Basically, a dungeon is found. 11, encounter an ambush. The encounter is an ambushing amount of monsters. And then 12, an encounter which is an ambush by an unfriendly NPC, which can be brigands or things like that. So, taking that into account, I put that into the matrix, and then of course I would figure what kind of traps are you going to find when you're out in the wilderness and rolling hills. So I came up with 4, and those are pit traps, spears, net, and of course a larger pit trap. And it worked out superbly. It worked out very well. So the first hex that my characters traveled through, and let me grab my notes here so I can read them to you. So, as the story would go, you basically encounter... man, I don't want to give away too much, but... Alright, so basically you encounter Osler Gundengoot, who is the innkeep at the Inn of the Welcoming Wench. And it's there that you're going to use him as where you're going to get your quest. This is where your first level characters come to, and this is where your small little 1-level quests are going to be to help level your characters up, running around and doing different things in the area. And that's the way that this particular scenario of the Temple of Elemental Evil being the Hamlet was basically designed. When you read it, it's the way that they set it up. So, and like I said, following just what they have here wouldn't really be that fun. So I decided to change things up and come up with this matrix and use it with my characters. So the first hex I entered, Hex 1, the NPC was a merchant that appeared to be stranded on the road. So my characters stopped to offer assistance because they're looking for a missing merchant. The NPC was actually bait, and he was covering up a goblin ambush that was hiding in the forested areas, and he was actually an evil magic user. So, how it ended is, believe it or not, the goblins were defeated, the magic user was subdued, and out of that, we got a bag of holding because rolling on some random tables out of the original DM guide came up with a bag of holding, which is pretty cool. So that's where I left off, and I'm looking forward to jumping back into this again and getting back into the Temple of Elemental Evil once again. It's such a great game. It really is. It's iconic. And I mean, we see so much based off of this particular game right here from the board game that they made for 4th edition D&D, which was the Temple of Elemental Evil. Video games based off of it, all the way into 5th edition, where they redid the Temple of Elemental Evil, just because it is such an iconic game. It's such a great game, and this is something that, I mean, you look at the size of this module, realistically, this could probably take every bit of a year to get through, easily. I mean, easily, to be able to go through this entire world, meet everybody, see everything, and complete every quest you have to complete. But the point I'm getting at is, when you get your modules here and you decide to jump into those and use those, because it was something that I kind of always struggled with, what you have to do is set yourself up a random matrix to be able to mix things up and make the world around more randomized, to make it more exciting and playable for you, the solo enthusiast, rather than just going through this and reading, going, oh hey, look, there's an encounter coming up, okay. You know, it kind of takes the fun out of it, whereas if, like I said, using my little matrix encounter here, which is really simple, you know, assigning 3 simple monsters and then 2 hard monsters and putting them in there, which kind of gives you some checks and balances, adding some randomness to the hexes as you entering them, and shaking things up a bit, came into, well, you see it, and I ended up with a bag of holding. So, very cool. Very cool stuff. Kind of wanted... Oh, so the one last thing I wanted to talk about that I did differently with this game was my characters. So, come here. Come here. So, my... I've always kind of before thought of more of a fantasy setting background story for my characters. Like I've said in my other videos where I've stressed that you really need a good background story for your characters. Where did they come from? What brought them to this point in their life to take on this quest and move on? So when making characters for the Temple of Elemental Evil, I wanted to do something different, something I really haven't done anymore. You know, a lot of the the RPGs I do are more like a Middle Earth type of Tolkien setting, or a true like D&D setting. And I decided, what if I do on a touch of factual history? So I had made a group of 4 characters in my adventure group, and so of these 4 characters, there is a cleric by the name of Lorian, who is a human cleric that is the leader of the group, also known as the Crimson Cross. Now, I came up with this idea is I was reading the graphic novel Vader, and in the novel explained how the Siths get their lightsabers and they turn the crimson color, and it's by defeating the Jedi and corrupting the cyber crystal that has a how do they put it, I want to say intelligence isn't the word I'm looking for. Anyways, we'll say a spirit, basically a spirit of its own. And when that spirit is broken, it turns crimson red. And so that really stuck with me, the whole entire crimson thing. And then I remembered the Crusaders with the red cross, and I thought, it'd be really cool, the Crimson Cross, right? So they are a band of crusaders that set forth across the land ridding the land of evil as they see foot, basically ruled by a third-party influence of, well, a god. You know, hey, God sent us here, and if you're evil, you're going to die. Pretty much. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I put that together. I wrote up this backstory of it, and the god that they follow, his name is Talos, and Talos is this basically vengeful deity that's basically hides behind the guise of light and love and all that, but really he's just a vengeful, hateful god. And my cleric is able to, is a holy symbol that has been imbued, however you want to put it, basically empowered with the divine power of Talos himself, that gives him an advantage to attack depending on who he views as an enemy and evil. Yeah, you can see where that's going. So, with the cleric, who's the leader of this band, Lorian, there is Velenor, that is a half-elf sorcerer. That's, you know, he falls suit with him. He's a half-elf sorcerer, but, you know, he kind of, it's like with the cleric, you know, the land has to be rid of the evil, and he's the one to do it. And with him, there is a half-orc fighter by the name of Eltros, and resembling an extremely ugly human, but, you know, he joined the group kind of like, this is cool, I get to kill as many people as I want, and underneath the guise of, hey, I'm doing the god's work. So he's kind of like along for the ride. And last but not least, Bilob. Bilob is a halfling thief that also hears the calling of the divine god of the Crimson Cross. So they have come to the village of Hamlet and spreading the word of their crusade across the lands to be able to find and vanquish evil wherever it may be. And yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited to see how this turns out, and cannot wait to get into that some more. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Those are my thoughts and not yours. And I thought that was just awesome. I thought that was really enjoyed it, and you know, a touch of how do we put this, Sith theology in the D&D world. So, but I think I have talked your ears off long enough, and I think this is where the video is going to leave off. So please, if you liked the video, click the like button. If you have not subscribed, click the subscribe button, followed by the bell icon. Every time this ugly mug uploads a brand new video, you will hear about it. And of course, I will leave the links to my channels on Bideon and BitShoot in the comments below, to where you guys can visit them and watch them if you would like to. Alright guys, look forward to more videos coming out here soon. Like I said, I'm on vacation this week, so I plan on making a couple of videos and being able to get them out there for you fine people. Alright, Artichoke Dip signing off.